Welcome to the WSL Post Show here at the Boost Mobile Gold Coast Pro, presented by GWM. We've been waiting a couple of days to get the 2023 Challenger Series underway. Today was the day. The swell's starting to fill in. We kicked things off with the opening round of the women, moved into the opening round for the men. We saw some good performances across both divisions. I was pretty impressed with what I saw. Ronnie Blakey here on the Harvey Norman host set with Felicity Palmatier and Richie Lovett. Rich, what did you make of it all?
I thought it was a good opening day. I feel like there was a few nerves around. The ocean was a little bit sleepy on us this morning, but certainly contestable waves all day long. Snapper produced the goods. I think the surfers produced the goods, but I want more.
Yeah,
I want to see it go right up, you know.
We've got the seeded surfers obviously waiting to take on those that progress through today, and I think we will see the level come up a bit. But there was high anticipation for this opening day of competition, Felicity, and I think Rich is right. I think there was some nerves.
For sure. We've been on hold for 3 days. It's been really small. You know, people are getting the nerves. They're like, oh, okay, are we going yet? Are we not? And today, you know, beautiful day of competition, crystal clear water, contestable all day. But it was definitely very clear as to who is feeling really confident and who's feeling jittery. And it was just clear as day. As soon as they stood up on their board, they either had the bauble or they were in control.
They were on. Yeah, we made the point earlier, I think at the start of the day, on these slower days, when you take a ride, you've got to make it count. And there was a few people that weren't able to do that today, and it really hurt them. And more often than not, Rich, the surfers that banked scores on the opening exchange and took the pressure of the clock out of the picture towards the back end of the heat, they went on and typically got the victory or the second place.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of things going on there. You couldn't surf your way into the heat. If you got the opportunity, you had to bag that score, you know, and by doing that, I think that the surfers that did it, they put some pressure on the opponents, and then they were scrapping around and trying to play catch up most of the time. But that real power surfing, really solid, confident style of surfing shone through today, and we saw some of the competitors do that, and they were the ones that walked away with the victories.
Yeah, we're going to have a look at some of those highlights shortly, but right now we're going to hear from the winner of the last heat with Stace.
Thanks, Ron. Welcome back to the Gold Coast, Leo.
Thank you. Yeah, super happy to be back. This is amazing place, and yeah, such a great opportunity to be here for the Challenger.
How do you feel like you went in that heat?
Oh, I kind of got started kind of slow, but then I got ridden, and actually I got lucky because I was fourth priority, and I got a pretty good nugget and got some 3 combo turns and got the score. Super happy.
Yeah, it was pretty good finish to that heat for you. I can see you riding some local shapers equipment here. Talk to us about Luke.
Yeah, Luke is an amazing shaper. I used to ride for him when I was younger, and I got aboard with him now and just went super good since the first wave I got. So it was just like, yeah, for sure. To the board I'm using in this event, and yeah, super grateful for him. Thank you, Luke. And yeah, let's go. I actually just ordered another one.
I'm sure he'll get it done nice and quick. Thanks for your time, Leo. Best of luck in your next heat.
Thank you, Stace. Yeah, the LSDs, the Luke Shorts boards, they look so good under Leo's feet. A lot of speed. Rich, you rode Luke's boards on the tour for years.
Yeah, for several years. Luke and I paired up back in the day when we were both with Insight, and then Luke broke away and did his own label, and then I went with him, and yeah, had an awesome time. I got a lot of respect for Luke. One of the most, cleanest and precise shapers in Australia, in my opinion.
For sure. Let's talk about some of those big performances. You mentioned power winning through today. I don't think anyone was more powerful than the South African, Aiden Masencamp. He blew them out of the water.
Yeah, phenomenal performance here, just really attacking from the opening ride, and have a look at some of these rail turns that he brought to the long walls down here at Snapper Rocks, and really mixing it up too, Flick. A great variety of turns all the way through.
Yeah, I actually was lucky enough to do his post-heat interview, and he actually said at the end, can I have a word here? I'm feeling really ready. I've put in a lot of work, and it's so evident. I feel like he's fired up, and this is only the beginning, and hopefully he can continue with this momentum.
Yeah, and 8 quickly backed it up with a 7.17. I mean, that was in the first about 6 minutes of that heat. He could have come to the beach. No one touched him in that exchange.
I think he actually had a 6 and a 5 for a backup as well, which probably would have got him through the same heat again. But, a great performance, and it wasn't an easy one either. Josh Burke, Eli Hanneman, and Billy Stampeded as well. So that was one of the stacked heats of the round, and he came out on top.
Honestly, looking at that heat, I would have predicted that the results would have gone the other way, just based on the form that we've seen. But Aiden looks to be one of those competitors that in that off-season, on that regional QS, has put together a solid campaign and got himself well and truly primed. He was the starter day.
Yeah, for sure, and great to see the South African flag there being waved really high. And he's a big fella, big turns, and I just hope he continues with that formula through the rest of the event.
Let's have a look at the best heat on the women's side. It was a veteran standing up today, Flick, and putting up the big numbers.
Yeah, I love to see it. Silvana Lima in the heat with Moana Jones-Wong. But yeah, all about Silvana scoring an 8-point ride and backing it up with a 6.33. And it just shows, I mean, she's surfing so fast out here and just in control. And I think that's what the judges really like to see. You know, she's spent a lot of time out here. She's scored a 10 before when she was on the World Tour. I think she's finished second here as well. So just really using that experience to her advantage.
Sure is. And for Silvana, putting up big numbers has never been an issue. Repeating that through an event draw has been the challenge. So we'll see how she fares. But I've been loving watching Moana Jones-Wong, obviously just the absolute queen of pipeline, and showing that she's got more tricks up her sleeve, putting together some good rides on the back end.
Yeah, well, I was really impressed when we saw her competing down at Manly last year in the Challenger event. And, she's not just the queen of pipeline. She's got the full tricks. But, Silvana Lima, that was a really CT-like performance, in my opinion. And I guess that was what we kept sort of discussing out of the booth was, is this CT-worthy surfing that we're seeing today? But Silvana Lima, that was.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's something that you got to keep reminding yourself, because even though we saw a pretty decent standard of surfing today, it's going to get tougher, obviously, as we get into the seeded round. See those surfers who really did do well on the Challenger Series last year, and those who just came from the CT. So for me, the level, as good as it was today, has to go up again as we move through the rounds. If anyone's going to go from the opening round right through to the final series. Yeah,
I agree with that 100%. But echo what you said, Rich, that performance from Silvana Lima is CT worthy, and I'm excited to see her come up again in the next round and be matching up against some of these women who are higher seeds, and hopefully the swell is going to fill in a little bit more, and it's going to be exciting. It
is. Well, the Boost Mobile wave of the day actually belongs to a competitor that got the call up to compete in this event, who won't be campaigning all season on the Challenger Series, Sheldon Simkus. We knew he was going to be dangerous if he did get a place in this contest, Rich, and today he proved that.
Well, this is one of those magic little waves that started right behind the rock, and Shelley, he just picked an absolute gem and tagged it all the way down the line. He just had one of those magical heats where he was in perfect rhythm. And have a look at this, just that's trademark Snapper Rocks wall just down the line, and Shelley just putting on such a pristine and precise display of surfing, position perfect on all his moves.
It took a CT surfer to beat him here last year. He was brilliant in his run through to that runner-up finish, and he'll be looking to make a big statement, to prove a point, because he's going to be hard to beat at this venue.
Yeah, look, he was effortlessly flowing through those sections with massive turns in between. And for me, I look at that and I just think he's as good as the best that do it out here at Snapper. So he's going to be hard to stop. And if he continues with this momentum, it's going to be good to watch.
And maybe his chances of going on to another big result here, Rich, will improve with increased swell, because that's when it comes a little bit more of a Rubik's Cube. You're trying to figure out which waves do the most down the line.
Yeah, I think today it was really obvious, although it was small, it was blaringly obvious which ones were the good ones. So is it going to pick up? And I was talking to Jay Phillips earlier, and he said for sure it's going to keep filling in throughout the evening, and we're going to see bigger waves tomorrow and over the next few days. So it'll be interesting what sort of playing field we have, but can't wait. It's definitely going to be rippable, no doubt about that.
We're being super critical at the moment, but
well, that's
we have to
job.
be. But there has been some amazing moments today, and we're going to have a look now at our top 5 moments, and there was plenty. And let's dive straight into it. Hiroto Ohara, former US Open of Surfing champion, This guy is just so polished, and he, for me, was one of the standouts.
Yeah, I absolutely love this wave. He just surfed with so much flow in between all of these turns and really fast too. And yeah, got rewarded with that 7.83 there.
Yeah, in my opinion, one of the best styles on the Challenger Series. Just a compact little Japanese surfer with shades of Tom Curran in there for sure. And really was in magnificent flow and got some magic JSs under his feet. And this was a special hit as well.
Yeah, number 4, Kobe Enright, her local knowledge paying off. She's got some big swoops, and she banked a 7.57 on this one.
Yeah, beautiful surfing from Kobe. I mean, she knows pretty much every grain of sand out here. She's spent a lot of time, so local knowledge really coming through.
Aiden Masencamp, well, he was always going to feature in the top 5 today, banking an 8 on his first ride of the Challenger Series season.
Yeah, just good, solid, no-nonsense surfing and placing his turns well. Putting a good variety on show here, but just a really confident, approach to this whole entire heat, and looking to see more from this guy.
Yeah, just so much variety. Flex down the line here at Snapper Rocks. An easy heat win stitched up in the opening stages of his opening round clash. Silvana Lima, she's the oldest surfer in the women's draw, but she made a big statement, as youthful as ever in her approach, super dynamic and has more to give too.
Yeah, I loved watching this, and although she's a veteran, she's surfing the best out here, which has obviously got the most knowledge. She looks like she's surfing faster than any of the other women so far, so it's going to be interesting to see what she does in this next round and if she can continue with this momentum that she has now.
Incredible, isn't she? Just, I think you hit the nail on the head. Speed is what she had today.
Super fired up. But at number 1, it is the local boy, the runner-up in the event last year, Sheldon. Just really did drop a big, excellent score. And this was at a stage where there was some sleepy heats through that opening round of the men's event. Sheldon just brought things back to life.
Yeah, he really did, and you can see here just so connected with every single one of these turns that he does. And, he doesn't look phased ever, does he? He comes in and he's just mellow as always, just happy-go-lucky, but he just was in attack mode in that heat.
Yeah, he does put on a brave face too. Even when he didn't make the Challenger Series in his post-heat interviews, he was still smiling. But, he's a big threat here at this contest, and someone I think those top seeds who he's going to meet now should be worried about.
Yep.
100%. He's so cool, calm and casual, but when he's out there, wow, he's just as good as the best.
Rich, there's so much to look forward to. Obviously, that's just day 1 in the bag. The seated surfers, we're yet to see them hit the lineup, and there's so much CT experience in the mix too.
Yeah, we've got the likes of Kaloe and Dino, who I'm really keen to see if he can sort of switch his momentum around and really bring some action here. And then, there's the list just goes on and on. Yeah,
Jackson Baker, another surfer that didn't survive the cut, but seemed to be doing his best surfing. And then on the women's side, there's a couple of real spoilers.
Yeah.
And it's almost for those surfers on the Challenger Series. It seems unfair if you come up against Stephanie Gilmore in a heat in just the second round of the event, doesn't it?
Yeah, I liked what you said this morning, Rich. The trophy is already Steph's. It's up to someone to come and take it from her, especially if we have conditions like what we saw today.
Oh, they're lining up. They all want a shot at it, that's for sure. It's going to be fantastic to watch this one fold out. Day 1 of the Boost Mobile Pro here on the Gold Coast is in the bag, but there's still plenty more coming your way. We'll be here first thing tomorrow morning to get a look at the conditions and make the call. Right now, though, we'll leave you with today's highlights.
The preparation, the anticipation, the road to qualification starts right here at Snapper Rocks.
Oh, I can feel the tension, Rich. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it in my guts.
I got butterflies as well.
This could be the next big thing. I got a feeling it could be a win. And I don't know why you won't talk down on me.
There's no gimmies on the Challenger Series. Every round is an elimination round.
40 seasons, another begins. Can I help you? You're not listening.
Interesting use of priority all the way through. The Nahu Suzuki finds the end there.
I'll leave you alone. Just please pick up your phone. I'll leave you alone, but I don't know wrong.
Sarah just breaking down the line, well,
We call that a Joel Parkinson.
you get an interference, it is the worst.
Could have been something memorable. 1,000 photos of me stuck on a wall, and I don't know why you won't
Headlight.
come down on play.
Local knowledge paying off.
And I don't know why she won't come down on play.
Heavily stacked opening heat for the men's event.
I'll leave you alone.
Beautiful carve, just hammering through that turn.
Your phone. I'll leave you alone, but I don't know.
Great flow, a lot of different turns.
On the buzzer. That came down to the wire. And Sheldon Simkus
Comes out of the gates firing the local surfer.
And I don't know why she won't come down on play.
Filipino surfer going to town here.
I'll leave you alone. Just please pick up your phone. I'll leave you alone, but I don't know.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.